You're listening to Ideal Practice, episode number 137. So, hey guys, you know that whole word of the year thing? Do you do that? Did you pick out a word for this year? Do you even remember what it was? Well, in my experience, most folks don't take that process nearly to the deepest level that it can go, where it will do you the most good, which is why, even though it's February, we're going to talk about that today. So, stay tuned. Hi, I'm Wendy Pitts Reeves, and with over 2 decades of experience in the private practice world, I've built my 6-figure business while learning a lot of lessons the hard way. This is the first podcast that shows you how to apply the principles of energy, alignment, and strategy to build a practice that is profit-centered, but people-forward. This is the Ideal Practice Podcast. Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of the Ideal Practice Podcast. This is Wendy Pitts Reeves, your host, and I am so glad to be hanging out with you today. How are you guys doing? It may be better if I don't ask that, right? I don't know. Well, I am doing all right, and I hope you are too. I hope you are engaged in work that makes you happy. I hope you are making a difference in a way that makes you feel good about things, and I hope you are tending to your own sweetheart in whatever way is best for you. So let's talk about this word of the year concept. I wanted to share this with you because this is what we did during our retreat. Last week, I mentioned to you that I hosted my first live in-person retreat in a long time. I used to do this all the time. I did them several times a year back before the pandemic. And then, of course, everything went virtual. So I was a little rusty on what you do with a room full of people, but it turned out just fine. It was actually really quite delicious. I was meeting with Accomplished, which is my support group for women leaders, and I decided to take them through the word of the year exercise. And as we were just sort of introducing the concept and talking about it, I shared with them that one of the things you have to be alert to and aware of is that when you choose the word or the word chooses you, that really does call you forward in some important, transformative way in your life. You got to kind of be prepared because there's a real good chance that that word is going to take you places you didn't know it was going to take you. And often, as I said in the intro, it will give you a kick in the pants. One of the easiest stories I can share with you about that was that several years ago, I've been doing this for a long time. I used to actually would have a necklace made with my word, and I would wear that necklace off and on throughout the year. I've done other things along those lines. And I was into it. I still am. And one year I chose the word release. Now, my thinking about that word and what it meant to me was that I wanted to release negative beliefs. I wanted to release internal blocks. I wanted to release the things that were holding me back from the things that I was aiming for in my life. What ended up happening over the course of that year was that I found myself being forced to release relationships that I had not wanted to let go of, situations that I had no control over, various things in my personal life that was not at all what I meant when I said release. And yet, even though it was hard to see at the time, I can look back now and see how that year and the hard but important things that happened that year when I did indeed have to let go of some important relationships in my life, what that did was it led to something much better for me because it brought me a bit of security and stability back that I had not had for a while as those relationships were released. And then for those people on the other side, what it did was it gave them space to go out and figure out some things for themselves. And in every case I can think of where that happened, those relationships came full circle back together again in the future in a way that was in a much healthier and more balanced way. So even though it was difficult at the time, in the long run, it was good for everybody. Well, let me tell you, that wasn't what I was expecting when I chose the word release. So I tell you that only as a matter of caution, because you just never know where this is going to go when you do it the right way. All right. So in the retreat that we did back in January with my accomplished members, they were like, they all came in the door going, well, they didn't come in the door this way because they didn't know this is what we were going to do. But once we got talking about it, they were like, oh, well, I do have a word I've been kind of thinking about this year. I have been kind of playing with that. And I'm thinking it might be this or that or whatever. And there are often kind of words like me, like, I don't know, success or ease or love. I don't know. I'm just making that up. I just know that they all came in with some kind of an idea about what was making sense for them. But by the time I took them through the exercise I'm going to share with you today, all of them had completely shifted into a new place, and all of them had been shown ways that they were being called to grow that they had not realized at the start. So what I want to do today is I want to walk you through in a fairly, relatively quick fashion, sort of a high-level glance at a process that I learned from the coach that I did most of my work with. Her name was Christine Caine. Many of you have heard me talk about her in the past. This was a process that she often used as on her website. It was something you could download for free from her. I don't think actually any of that is up anymore. She has moved on into other areas in her own life, so I actually don't think she's even doing this anymore. But it was a gift that thousands and thousands of people have downloaded and that I have found to be incredibly beneficial over the years. And I want to share it with you, okay? What most of us do is we tend to choose a word that is almost like a wish, right? Like, I want more peace in my life this year, or I want more money in my life this year, or I want more abundance in my life this year, or I want the love of my life in my life this year. But when you walk through the process that I'm going to share with you, you may find that you land in a very, very different place, just like my clients did. And I want to share this with you. Now, when we did this, we took several hours to work through this process. And I will tell you that when I do this myself, what I typically do, and I usually do this over the holidays, I did not this year. I did it later. But what I tend to do is I will go up to the mountains, which are close to where I live, and I will park by some creek somewhere. And if it's warm enough, I'll get out of the car. If it's not, I'll sit there with a cup of coffee in my car. But I will work through this process in a notebook or in a journal myself. And it takes a while to do this properly. So don't rush through this. Also, I want to tell you that I don't have a handout for you. I don't feel like it's mine to share with you because this was Christine's. But I do think this is the kind of thing you're going to want to take notes on, or at least go back and capture the key points. So this may be something you want to listen to more than once. We'll see. All right. First of all, let me just sort of start with why she recommends doing things the way I'm going to teach you today. First of all, it's February, right? And you may be the kind of person that doesn't fool with New Year's resolutions anymore. You're like so past that, you just don't even bother, which means that you didn't set any intention in particular for this year. Or maybe you did set a New Year's resolution, or you did choose a word already, and it was some version of that's what I'm going to do this year. I'm going to set a new goal. I'm going to set a new intention. I'm going to drink more water. I'm going to go to the gym, those kinds of things. The reason those things don't work, and it's interesting that I'm recording this in February, because it is around this time of year that whatever intentions, resolutions, goals, whatever you want to call them, whatever we set back on January the 1st, this is about the time they are usually pretty much started to fall apart. Can you relate? If not, yay for you. But for a lot of folks, this is the case. And one of the things that Christine said was that the reason that happens is because we tend to start from one place, one particular place in the framework that determines who we are. And that is we start from the doing place. I want to do this because if I do this one thing, then I'm going to have that. And if I have that, then I'm going to feel like, or I'm going to be this person, right? So just to keep this simple, I'll use the weight loss going to the gym thing because that is such an easy one and such a common one. So if I do this thing, join a gym, start lifting weights, start taking walks every day, whatever your version, I'm going to do my 30 days of yoga with Adriene, right? If I do this thing, then I will have what? I will have more stamina. I will lose some weight. I will have more flexibility, right? And when I have those things, what will I be? I will feel better about myself. I will be more confident. I'll be a little sexier. I'll be more attractive. I'll be something better in the world because I did this thing. Does that make sense? So we start with do. I'm going to do something so that I can have something, and then I will become this thing. Let me share that. Let's talk about your practice. I'm going to do this thing. You know what? This year I'm going to get on top of my billing, and I'm going to make sure that my clients pay me as they go, whatever they owe, and I'm going to stay on top of my accounting. And I'm going to do that because when I do that, I will have what? Better cash flow. I will have stronger savings. I will have the ability to pay my taxes when I need to. Well, those are all good things, right? And when I do that, get on top of my practice finances, and I have that, better cash flow, more savings, ready to pay taxes, what will I be? I will be an on top of it person who knows how to run a practice. I will be easy and stress-free about the business side of my practice. Well, here's the thing. Again, that kind of stuff tends to not last. It doesn't take you as deep as it could because it's coming from your head. That's really kind of what this is about. It's coming from a place in your head rather than a place in your body, your heart, your spirit. On the other hand, true transformation and the growth and the success that real transformation often leads to, that comes from a deeper process. And as Christine taught, that starts in a very different place. You start by deciding who you want to be. And when you embody that, then you will do something differently because of that. And when you take different actions because of who you are being, you will have very different outcomes. So stick with me here, okay? Now, I want to tell you, as I am talking through this, if you are curious and you want some help with this is kind of what I do. I work with healers, practice owners, and in particular with women who are looking for more in their life. I do work with men as well. I love my guys, but I have a heart for empowering women, always have, can't help it. And if there is something in your life, in your work as a practice owner, or in the rest of your world that you could use some help with, reach out to me. Whether it's for one-on-one support through my psychotherapy practice or whether it is through the role that I provide as a coach. However I can help, just send an email, wendy@wendypittsreeves.com, and let's talk. We'll take it from there. Because to be the person you want to be, sometimes it does help to have a little extra accountability and support along the way. Now let's talk about, as you go into this practice, first of all, I want to kind of set you up with 5 guidelines. You can call them rules. You can call them best practices that will help make sure that this process works better for you. Okay? So I want to talk about this first before we get into the process itself. First of all, 5 guidelines. First of all, number 1, I really do want you to choose one word. Not 2, not 3, not a phrase. Now, if you already have a word that you've already been kind of playing with or that you've even already claimed as yours, that's fine. I still invite you to take it through this process. I really do. I think it's going to serve you well. But if you're not sure, then by golly, that's fine. But I want you to know that the goal here is to land on one word. Why? Because when you can't do that, what you are doing from the very beginning is you are splitting your intentions to the universe. You are splitting your energy from the very beginning. So challenge number 1, guideline number 1, the goal here is one word, my friends. That's it. Got it? Okay. Guideline number 2 is to be authentic. And by that, I mean, I want this word to be something that speaks to you from your heart, okay? Not something that works for somebody else. It needs to work for you. It needs to be a word that speaks to you in some way. And I'll tell you, often you will know when you've got the right word because it will make you a little squirmy inside. It's funny how often I say that, isn't it? It's so true about so many things. Yeah. The word might be something weird. It might be something that you don't expect at all. It might be something that pops into your head as you go through this process. It might be something, a word that you see somewhere that you're like, I don't know why, but that word says something to me. So I want you to make sure or be careful that the word that you are drawn to or that you allow yourself to explore is a word that speaks to you personally in a way that maybe you can't even explain. You just know there's something about it. So it's not a head word. It's not a word that your head says, oh, that's a good one. I should do that. It's a word that for some reason it calls to you. Okay. The third guideline is I want you to be ready to let your word amplify your awareness of yourself, of your patterns, of the work that you need to do. Now, keep in mind, I've told you that sometimes your word of the year is going to take you places you didn't expect it to go, right? Well, this is kind of what I'm talking about here. Let's say, for example, you choose the word abundance. And, it's March and you haven't made your first, 5-figure month yet. Whatever you thought abundance meant and expected it to look like, heck, what's happening, Wendy? It's not manifesting. Where am I? What I want you to do is use those moments to examine yourself. What am I expecting here? How am I getting in my own way here? What is this calling me to observe? What can I learn here about the way I'm approaching things? Your word is meant to teach you about you. Your word is meant to teach you about you. So when something pops up that tempts you to say, see, it's not working. I knew this wasn't going to work. This is a bunch of crap. That is your call for a higher state of awareness. Trust me, when I was losing people in my life, rather than losing limiting beliefs or whatever, I didn't think it was working either, but it was. Okay, guideline number 4 is I want you to commit to clarity. So think about this. This kind of goes with choosing one word. When you want this and that, and you want to order this and that, you end up getting nothing, or you get at bits and pieces of everything. So for example, let's say you went into a restaurant and you're in the mood for a steak tonight, and you turn in that order and they go in to place the order for the steak. And while they're gone, you're like, you know what? I just remembered I was set an intention that I'm going to eat healthier. Can I change that to a salad? And they go, sure. They do the salad. And then before the salad comes, you're like, you know what? I just saw on the menu, you've got a real special going on pasta, and I love pasta. Do you mind if I just change that one more time? Well, that's kind of how it is in our intentions in terms of the clarity when we are setting an intention for ourselves and who we want to be. We end up sort of frazzled and harried and doing a little bit of a lot of things. But when you choose one thing that you want to be, one goal, one intention, one way, that is like a laser, and it brings a power of energy that I think is hard to miss. I think you'll be sort of surprised. So this word of the year discovery process that Christine developed is designed only to help you get 100% clear, not only about what the word is, but why you are choosing it and what it's going to do for you or what you want it to do for you. And a few other things along the way. So you'll see all that. All right. The 5th and final guideline I want to share before we get into the details here is I don't want you to worry about the how. Now, y'all have heard me say this before. I say all the time, the how is not the problem. The problem is giving ourselves permission to do what we really want to do anyway, right? If your way of being, your goal, your word is something that feels impossible, that's okay. That's okay. We're going to work with it anywhere because that word is going to call you forward. I don't want you to get down into the weeds and start stressing over how the heck am I ever going to make this happen? I don't know how that's going to make this happen. The biggest lesson, one of the biggest lessons that I have found just from doing this process now for, how long have I been doing this? At least 10 years, is that I sort of set the ship in motion. I choose a direction at the beginning of the year when I go through this process. And then the best thing I can do is get out of the way and let it unfold. And just pay attention. Just notice where the ship takes me. So learning how to let go of that how while still taking action. And of course, yes, still saying yes to the opportunities that present themselves. That's fine. That's all part of it. That's what clarity does. But I don't want you to worry. Don't worry about the how. Okay? Don't worry about that. All right. Now, are you with me so far? Okay. If you were in front of me and you were in one of my workshops or you were in my group, I would be holding your feet to the fire about this as we go through this process. But let's do this. Let me just talk you through now the Word of the Year discovery process as created and crafted by Christine Caine, because this is good stuff, y'all. There are 5 steps I'm going to walk you through. Step 1. First thing I want you to do is a little bit of brainstorming. I want you to make a list of 3 to 5 words that you are thinking about, that you're considering. And you may already know what these are, but if you need a little inspiration, I'll tell you, all you got to do is go to Google, our friend, and just type in Word of the Year word lists. You'd be amazed at what pops up. I pulled up a 1-page PDF that had like 300 words on it. That might be a little overwhelming for some of you, but that is one thing you could do here. You could literally go online and just look for a word list of inspirational words, or literally Word of the Year list, because those are out there, and print one out. And what I told my group was to go through and mark out the ones that right off the bat, you're like, nah. Or scan it and circle the ones that kind of speak to you. Like, that's kind of a cool word. Or, never thought about that one. However you decide to go about this, I don't care. If you just want to work with the one you've already got, that's fine. But if there's any part of you that is like, I think this is fine, you might want to play with 2 or 3. Just saying. All right, make a list. Come up with your initial pool of words you want to play with. No more than 3 to 5 max, y'all. Don't go beyond that. Okay, you're not going to be able to do this with more than that. So that's kind of the first thing. Step 2, explore. I want to explore your relationship with each word. So for each one of those words, another reason why not you don't want to have too many of these, even if you just got 2 or 3. For each word, I want you to answer these questions. Why do you think that word would be perfect for you this year? Why? What is it about it? What does it say to you? What do you like about it? What picture does it paint for you? Why that word instead of any other? What drew you to that? Or just what made it sound like a good idea? If you embodied this word daily, if it was literally how you were living, what would be different? How would your daily life or your daily experience, how would you be different if you embodied that word? And kind of along the same lines with that, how are you already doing that? I'm sure there is a way already on some level that you are embodying, you are practicing, you are living into that word. How are you not? Where are you doing that and where are you not doing that already right now? Think about all that for a moment, and then I want you to sort of put this out into the future. Let's say you claim this word and you live and breathe this word in all kinds of ways, expected and unexpected, every day this year. How will your life be different 1 year ago? Not 1 year ago, 1 year into the future from today. How would your life be different? What would you see? I might even say, what would you see, touch, taste, smell, feel? What would people around you see? How would your life be different if you were able to 100% step into this word every day for the next year? And to make that more tangible, what would you have created? What will you have manifested? What will you have attracted into your life as a result of this word? Now, I'll share with you my word last year. I just thought of this. I could share this with you as an example. Last year, my word was ease. I should have thought of this at the beginning because this is a great example of everything I want to teach you today. I purposely did not choose the word. No, it wasn't ease. It was easy. Oh, other way around. It was not the word ease. I didn't want things to just kind of come and go. I really wanted life to be easy because the year before, 2023, was anything but. I was building a new program. I was helping with elder care at a home that was 6 hours away from me. I was living into a new relationship. I was trying to do some cross-country travel, all at the same time, essentially, while dealing with several family-related crises involved with that elder care. It was anything but easy. But that was the year before. So when I went into 2024, I'm like, I want life to be easy. I'm just telling you, enough with all this. Well, interestingly enough, when I think about how did I live that word or not live that word, it was definitely in my mind a goal that I wanted. It was something I tried to find ways to create, but my life was anything but easy last year, right? On the other hand, because life was hard, you know what that forced me to do? I got systems up and support going last year in a way I have never done in my whole life. I brought in support teams to help with my parent elder care issues that I was dealing with, my mom, even with my dad when he was still with us. I put a full team together to help me with the podcast, and we nailed down a system to make this work. Took us months to do. It was not an easy thing. But because I literally could not do it all, I was forced to actively seek and receive help. I was forced to actively set up systems beyond anything I'd done before. And I'm pretty good at systems, y'all. But this was a big challenging year. So funny enough, my word of the year was easy, and nothing was easy. And yet it forced me to put things into place that did indeed make things easier. Crazy. So what did I create, manifest, and attract last year as a result of doing my best to live into the word easy, even when nothing was going right? Well, I got some help. I got some serious help. And I am immensely grateful. So what for you, for each of these words, what will that look like for you? All right. So step 1 was brainstorm, come up with a list of words, 2, 3, 4, 5. Step 2 was to explore your relationship with those words. What would it look like? How are you embodying them now? How are you not? What will it look like a year from now? If you do, what will have changed? And try to make it concrete if you can. Try to make it specific if you can picture that. Step 3, ready for this? Now that first part, what I just laid out for you, that'll take you 30 minutes to an hour to do, if not longer. Like this takes a while to sit and ponder this stuff. But let's say you've done all that. You got it figured out. Do you notice that one of the words is really kind of rising to the top? Is there one of them that is challenging you more than the others? Wonder what that's about. Often that's where the work is. So step 3 is to decide. It's time to pick a word. Choose a word. Choose your word for 2025. And if you have landed right back on the word you started with, that's fine. You already have a deeper awareness of what this word really means to you. Now let's keep going. All right, step 4. Now that you've gone through this sort of evaluation process and you have chosen, Wendy, this is it. It makes me a little nervous. It makes me a little uncomfortable, or it makes me kind of excited. Maybe it's that. Whatever it is, it's fine. Now we want to talk about what to do with it. So step 4 is to prepare. And what I mean by this, I want you to use that, using this one word you've chosen now, right? One, you've chosen. Now I want to talk about the blocks that are going to get in the way for you with this word. I want you to make a list of 3 specific, tangible triggers that would lead you to shrink, to back off, or to run in the opposite direction of this word, or the why that's behind this word. Like in this work you did earlier, embodying it is about why this is important to you, right? Why this word calls to you, why you want to live into it. Well, what are 3 triggers? Maybe situations, maybe people, maybe ways of thinking, maybe certain scenarios, whatever. What are 3 types, very specific triggers that would make you run from this and like, oh, hell no, I'm not going to do that. I changed my mind, Wendy. I want a different word. Figure that out. And if you got more than that, that's fine. But let's just at least do 3. And then as you think about those, what old patterns, what default settings, what, I always do it this way, have kept you living this word up to now, have kept you from it? If you think about those triggers, that may give you a clue here. What typically gets in the way? What typically blocks you from this? I'll tell you what one of mine was, just thinking about what I was just sharing with you a minute ago. One of mine is that I work very, very hard, and I am very much sort of, I'll handle it myself, thank you very much. I can do it. I can do it better than anybody else. I can do it faster than anybody else. I can do it longer than anybody else. It's fine. I got it. I am so bad at letting other folks help. So, of course, when I choose the word easy, well, honey, you know what that's going to mean, right? So what old patterns? So my old pattern would be that when things got hard, I would push myself harder, even if it made me sick, which sometimes it has. I want you to figure that out right now, because that is going to happen. And it will happen, y'all, like tomorrow. It is amazing to me how fast this falls into place. And I mean, when we did our retreat, we held our retreat on a Friday. On Sunday, by Sunday, I'd already heard from at least 3 different people in the group who had already run into walls with the word that they had been so excited about on Friday. That's how it goes. That's how it goes. All right, so once you've identified that, you at least kind of know what to look out for, right? And to get ahead of this a little bit, I want you to go ahead and write down 5 new habits or practices that you could build into your life right now to help you with that would support you in embracing this word more fully. Those habits or practices could be something that's more internal, like meditation, journaling, certain rituals or routines around how you start your day or end your day. They may be external, as in building in some sort of support or accountability with a good friend or a business partner or a therapist or a coach, whatever. But see if you can, try to come up with 5. Some of you will tell me that you can't, but try really hard. What are 5, at least 5 things that you could do? You know what, if I start doing this, that'll help me. That will help you build in this word into your daily practice. All right. So that's preparing for what's coming, because this word is going to call you to grow. And then step 5 is the fun part, and that is to engage with this word. I want you to engage with your chosen word of the year by answering 2 questions. And I want you to, this is where we are talking about where this is going to take us. I want you to dream big here, y'all. I want you to have a big picture. I want you to have a vision. You know what, Wendy? It's hard to even imagine, but if I was able to do this, if I was able to be this person, if I could be this so that I can do these things and then I will have this, oh my gosh, how awesome would that be? I want you to come up with 3 goals, big or small, that you would like to accomplish this year based on that word. Now, y'all, when you write your goals, write them in the present tense. Don't write, I'm going to, or I will have, or my intention is to. Write, I have a flourishing business that brings in 6 figures and I only work 3 days a week. Right. My marriage is stronger and healthier than it's ever been, and we are having more fun than I've ever thought we could have. Right. My clients make me so happy. I have to pinch myself because I don't believe I get to do this work for real. Okay. I want you to list 3 goals, big or small, that you want to accomplish this year based on your word. My house is clutter-free. My office runs like a top. I have the best VA. If anybody in the world, I don't care how good you think yours is, mine is better. Right? And then of those 3, pick one that would be a home run for you. If none of the rest happened, but this one thing happened, what is that? And I would love for you to flesh that out a little bit. Write a detailed description, if you can, of what it would look like to live that. It could be an imperfect, messy description, but write that out as much as you can so that you literally can see it and feel it as you imagine it. Okay? Yeah, I really want you to do that. So let me reframe, or not, let me repeat these just in case you're writing this down. So step 1 was to brainstorm a list of words, just a few. Step 2 was to explore with each word your relation to it right now, how you are living in that word now or not, and how your life would be different if you do. That's your why. That's why this matters. And what will show up in your life that's different? What will you have created that's different? Yeah, that's step 2, explore. Step 3 was to decide. Once you've gone through that with the words you're considering, choose one. And this is the commitment to clarity piece right here. Remember I talked about the guidelines? This is my word. I am committing to this word. That's step 3. Step 4 is to prepare for the inevitable blocks that you know are going to come your way. The triggers, the speed bumps that are going to pop up. Identify a few of those in advance and come up with a list of ideas for how you're going to prepare to get through those, to support you in this work. And then step 5 is to engage with the word by allowing yourself to play with and envision and dream big about what you're going to do as a result of this. What's your big goal for the year in particular? Yeah, that's what I want you to do. So that's a lot, y'all. And if you do that properly, you might not do all this in one setting. You might want to do it over 2 or 3 days. This is great for a morning journaling session. It's great for a personal retreat if you want to take yourself somewhere for a couple of hours, your local library, a coffee shop, or like me, somewhere by a creek in the mountains. Give yourself however much time you need. And if it happens quickly, great. But what I do want you to do is to be thoughtful and deliberate. Don't just rush through this. Don't get in your head. I want you to feel it in your body, and you will know. You will know. I'll give you sort of a fun example. Fun for me, maybe not so much fun for her. One of my clients and one of my members of Accomplished is a force to be reckoned with in the world. They all are, honestly. They all really are. I just love these people so much. I've forgotten what word she walked in the door with, but she had something in her mind already she'd been playing with. And by the time we got through with this exercise, I don't even remember where she started, but where she landed on was the word collaborate. Collaborate? What kind of word is that? Which is often indeed where we go with this kind of stuff. I don't even know what that means. That's the word that jumped out at her as we went through this process. And the way she was imagining it was that she would learn to be, she's a leader, right? This is like me, and like perhaps some of you. When there's a vacuum, we step into it. Somebody needs to make a decision. You know what? I'll just do it. Here's what we're going to do, guys. That's what we do, right? That's who she is as well. Learning to collaborate and share power in an effective way. Of course she knows how to do that, but she often did it with some resentment or frustration. And where she landed was she wanted to learn how to form strategic partnerships, collaborative relationships that not only got the job done, but that were genuinely enjoyable with people that she admired and respected and people that she could receive as much from as she had to give to. Because as is often the case with my strong women leaders that I love so much, is they are much better at taking care of everybody else than they are at receiving. Can you relate? Bet you can. Shoot me an email and tell me if that doesn't strike a chord with you, because that certainly did with me. Well, of course, she has been challenged with that since then. Yeah, she has. Oh, but it's great. She's been challenged, but it is great. And we are early in the process. So I can't wait to see. I can already sort of see a pattern emerging of where she is being challenged to grow, but it's so good. And she knows it. She knows it because that's kind of how we flow around here. That's what we do. So I hope this has been helpful to you. I do have one little fun little tip to toss to you right here at the end, just in case. If you have gone all the way through this process and your word is like jumping out at you like a neon sign, what you might want to do just for the fun of it, which is what I like to do, is to write your word on an index card in big letters and make it, play with that, y'all. Like fancy it up a little bit. Get out your markers or stickers or a little glitter if you got a daughter around somewhere. But dress up your card, punch a hole in it, cut it in a cool shape, and stick it on your bathroom mirror or on the visor of your car or inside your wallet so you see it every time you get your cards out. Whatever. Put it somewhere where you're going to see it. But it's fun to take it and decorate it. I've done that in lots of different ways over the years. And you can actually get a bracelet or a necklace that has the word on it. Sometimes you might want to do that. So that's my final tip for you, just for the fun of it. All right, everybody, that's what I've got for you today. I hope it gets the wheels turning a little bit. As always, I hope you will do yourself a favor and give yourself some time to do this. I don't think you'll be sorry. And in a way, I think it's kind of cool to do this now because we're past that initial pressure at the beginning of the year, and you can already kind of catch your breath or maybe let your breath go a little bit. Okay. What do I want this year to be like anyway? Yeah. Let's see. Thanks, everybody. Have a great week, and I will talk to you next time right here on the Ideal Practice Podcast. Bye now. Hey, y'all. If this program has become important to you, if Ideal Practice matters, it would mean so much to me if you'd be willing to take just a minute to do one or two of the following things. First of all, would you follow or subscribe to the show here at Ideal Practice? Following me helps you because you'll never miss an episode, but it helps me as well for all kinds of reasons. To do that, all you have to do is go to the show page for Ideal Practice on Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever you listen to podcasts. There, just click on the plus sign that you'll usually find in the top right-hand corner, or click on the word follow that you're going to find somewhere there on that page. Of all the things, this really is the most important thing you can do for the podcast itself. While you're there, it would be extra special if you would be willing to give me a 5-star rating, and even better than that, a review with your own words. Your words matter. And when you write what you feel, what you think, you uplift and encourage others. And I love that. If you want to go a step further than that, take your favorite episode or two, one of the ones that has meant a lot to you, and share it with a friend. Could you do one or two of those things for me? I promise I will love you forever. You guys matter to me, and I value your support more than I can possibly say. Thank you, sweet friend, for anything you can do to help me out and support the show. I'll see you again soon.